And I'm back with more Bravely Default. So this episode is going to be a bit of a slower one than the last few, where we just bulldoze bosses all the time. You'll notice I leveled up a bit, and I've also changed Tiz to a freelancer for a reason. I'm going to try... I should have done this earlier, but I should try to do this now. The job point up skill. I'm going to try and get that. There's not a whole lot he can do otherwise as a freelancer. Their skill set's kind of weird. I don't really think they're that great. But there's Endure, there's Poison Immunity, and there's JP up. Other stuff is cool, I guess, but really I just want the job points up. The reason I didn't get it earlier is it's a 1.2 increase instead of 1.5 for like more money. But more importantly, and this is something I found while I was fighting, I got Epic Group Cast and Pierce Magic Defense. So now, Agnes can group cast anything she has for the same amount of damage. So Power of Magic does not decline when group casting. And his magic can pierce damage. So you can group cast it, but more importantly, it can do stuff. But realistically, what's been going on is I've been able to do about 400 to 500 more damage with my spells and attacks than I was doing to the enemies about an hour ago in-game. And I've been using Aurora and Thundara rather than the other ones, because you see there's like 3 times... Like, I don't know, unless I'm in a boss fight, how effective it is to do 1,000 more damage for 3 times the skill. Realistically, I can just do that with 2 casts of Thundara instead, but whatever. So I'm using today as a way to get to JP up, and then get my way closer to Arcanist and Spirit Master. So it's been a while since I've done one of these grind episodes, and it gives me a chance to kind of talk through what the new classes are going to be and what they're going to focus on, because getting Victoria and Victor taken care of was the whole point. And that's going to buff up the characters to their final forms, at least the final forms I want. Once I get those classes leveled up, I'll just fiddle around with other things like Performer and Time Mage and whatever on my leisure. But I am going to be focusing mostly on the strategies I've been using, but enhancing the strategies. A lot of the boss fights you've seen have been using poison on bosses with the Withering Ripple, and that's gonna keep going with Arcanist. Because Arcanist has some cool spells and cool abilities like Doom and whatnot, but their biggest thing is Exterminate. Exterminate, as you've seen, if you can poison an enemy, you get rid of their poison per turn. So that's annoying. You'd have to recast it. But in its place, you're doing like thousands of damage. Right? So it's a good trade-off to do so much chunk damage. And then you add in stuff like Pierce Magic Defense, and then a couple of amplifiers for damage in the rest of the line. You get some good damage. there's the Dark Spell, which I think is something I get as a Black Mage, but I get to pretty much boost up Black Mage. There's a wonky skill, I think it's called... yeah, it's called something weird like Zero, where you can do... if you do 0 damage, or if your HP has 0, you do like 1.5 times damage. It's very wonky, but could be cool in a pinch. There's also paralysis again, just to be a complete bitch. But I got rid of the fun. Paralysis, I hate that in this area, but they're dead. And if I don't get job point up in this area, then I can do it. You know, I'm not gonna spend another video doing this. I can. What's cool is I can autosave if I leave a building, I think. So I just kind of walk my way back around here, and then use a tent, and then do this. Not good. Oh, that's up. But there's another skill that can, if you use sleep, and you cast sleep on somebody, if you use something known as Twilight, you instantly kill them. So that also works against me, so that's a problem. But that would be an instant win for normal fights. Bosses, I don't think get killed by it, so that's a bit of a bitch. But let's see, silence, sleep, poison. Yeah, so I can group cast stuff like poison and sleep, and then like wear my star pendants or wear what was it, clothespins keep me awake. Something to keep me awake. So if I wanted to go that route, I can do sleep and then do that, and then for like bosses, I can use exterminate, or just use exterminate in general. Probably gonna use exterminate, but it's huge because the strategy that I've been using to path of least resistance has mainly been, wow, one damage, has mainly been poisoning a boss and letting them tick down some reasonable amount, so that I'm able to at least do some damage. There have been bosses recently where I've been able to damage them fine without the need for it. Now, Spirit Master, you get all the fun stuff as a white mage as the secondary skill, but you can save your MP. Another benefit is something known as stillness, and this is mainly what it's known for. I don't know if they still have the same skill set, but stillness basically says for 2 turns, nobody gets hurt. So you can get your BP back, you can avoid a nasty hit, just stuff like that. You just nope the damage outright. Doesn't matter what type, doesn't matter what kind, like how much. Not like damage dispersion where it nullifies some of it, but it gives to your party members. No, it just says no, you're not taking any damage. You're not giving out any damage, but it's a defensive get out of jail free card kind of thing. And I forget how you use it. Like, you buff your BP and stuff. It's kind of cool. Oh, speaking of BP, Arcanist has 2 different skills that do damage based on how much BP you have. So if your party has no BP, but the other party has a lot of Brave, you can use a skill that attacks high Brave party members. If you attack, if they have no Brave, but you have a lot, you can do the opposite. So it's kind of unique. You can even use a skill in Spirit Master to basically brave other party members. So if you wanted to finagle with that, say you were at 3 and you wanted to buff your people to brave and then do that, you could, like, if they're at -1 for a turn, a party could just be like, I'll just nuke you for damage, and just do it. Pretty handy if a boss just uses all of their damage. Or, if I use all of my brave in an attack, I can use the opposite, and just, if somebody's trying to brave themselves and use their, use their stuff, I can do that. It's fun. It's funky, but fun. Slimy yet satisfying, so to speak. But Spirit Master mostly works the way Victor was using it, though he was mainly focused on Fairy Aid rather than anything super complicated. But Fairy Aid buffs your elemental stuff, which will help the black mages. It can also help, arrow and other stuff. Change recovery item into poison. Ooh. You get wrecked. I like you. But I can't use it and widen area at the same time, I don't think. Or can I? No, I can't. I can't. It's a single target thing. But cool if I want to focus on Arcanist as well. But whatever. But as you can see, stuff. But you can also nullify elemental damage. So if you're in a pinch, you can do that. Spirit Master also, raises your... Or actually lessens your white magic cost. So it works well with the white magic you already possess. So there's a ton of different things that these two classes can do. There's some other buffs for both, where it's like if you take your maximum HP or MP, you can boost your damage. I may not like those too much, because that's just cutting. I mean, it doubles my damage potential, but it's also, or healing potential, but it's also like using up special skills and skill points that I could be using for piercing magic defense or casting or shit like that. Because my focus right now should be group casting a bunch of damage, hitting people with poison or sleep, guarding against it, and then fucking wrecking their faces. Because I've got Spell Fencer to do elemental damage. I've got Savmaker that can do dark or can inflict poison. Spirit Master can avoid that. If I use, Star Pendants or the other skills, I can, decide to use sleep and whatnot. I forget which bosses are immune to sleep, but it's honestly not that many. Or at least I would think by this time in the game has been smart enough to say, we're not going to let you do that. I don't think the game would let you use sleep on bosses to instantly kill them. But as we've seen, you can poison most of them. I don't know how much longer I'm allowed to do that, but I'm checking bosses before I fight them to ensure that I can even use that skill set. Because it's not worth wasting time using Withering Ripple if I know it doesn't work. But as we've seen, because of the system and its focus, even 1% per turn all fucking day has been beneficial in doing damage. So I like the fact that I have the option to wait out an enemy rather than have to do damage. Because I'm running low on those attack items. The attack item amp is good in a pinch, but it's not... I'm capped at 3,000 damage for some of the best stuff. And those are mostly party-based. They're handy, but they're not as fun as just throwing Thundara at people, because I can just do that every fucking turn. So... This isn't a physical-based party, You know, some people like the physical, some people like the magic. I'm definitely going for a magic plus support-based skill set. And it's worked up to this point. I'm curious if it's going to stay that way. Also, I think I instant killed him. Yeah, I think I instant killed that guy. That was nice. Damn, you're not dead yet. Crazy. You will be. There. Because I definitely recall getting to... Okay, so I'm up to 9. I want to say I'm at... It's still gonna take some time to get me where I want to go. I also know I'm not gonna spend as much time in this fight as I normally would. But I do want to get JP up, if nothing else. That Assassin's Dagger works some of the time, as we saw. It's not perfect, but it's kind of neat. You'll notice I'm not using Hidden Dragon right now because I'm trying to buff up Freelancer. I'll move back to it in a second. I'm not using Aeroga. Let me just see. Because I'm doing 1,000 damage-ish. I'm doing 1,000 damage around for 15. For 15, I'm doing that. Let me just see. With this, I was doing 1,000 as well, I think. If I'm not doing 3 times the damage, it's not very useful. It's not cost effective. Not for this part right now. You do it a lot of damage to me. That's rude. Yeah, the Assassin's Dagger works a little bit. It's not perfect. Alright, 1,200. Yeah, he's doing 1,200. Hidden Dragon would have been doing about 2,000, but... Okay, 700 extra damage for... Oh, no, it's double. Okay. But still, double damage for 3 times points does not seem feasible. I don't know about this one. I would rather just use Thundara. If I'm really in a pinch, there's poison immunity if I really need it, which I could just use a Star Pendant. Big fucking whoop. Though I might use that with like Hyper Bracers or something. That might work. That might work better, but it is also a use of a skill. What is it? 1 point maybe? I think it's 1. So instead of like Auto Aspire Blade, which I like, but I also don't. Yeah, 1. 10% HP or Firewall is not great. I could... Yeah, let me just, Hyper Bracers, yeah. There we go. And then let's get rid of Firewall, because it's running out of utility. There we go. So at least now I know Tiz won't fucking die. Doesn't stop paralysis from these fucking wolves, but it stops being poisoned, if nothing else. And if I'm so desperate I need Freelancer on everybody, then I can do that, but I'm not going to worry about it. What I need to consider is other jobs after all of these are done. So, remember, I was doing double damage for 3 times the MP. Not exactly the most interesting. Let's see how Ringabel does, if I get to his turn. Ow. But, I'm saying but on 200 versus... Yeah, it's not worth... I don't think it's worth it to be using those spells. Those are desperation spells, it looks like. So I'm just going to use level 2 for now. I'm going to keep saving just because I don't really want to be redoing anything. But and I did it again. It's my lead-in. It's my lead-in word for the day. It's my lead-in word for the day, and I'm sorry. I keep saying it. I was about to do it again. I caught myself. The jobs I want to do after this. So we got Spirit Master, we got Arcanist, we've got Savmaker. What do I do after that? I mean, I could level up Merchant and get high and low leverage. That could also work well with Stillness. What I'm considering, I've still got Merchant. So Merchant and Savmaker, because if I get job points up, at some point I might need a third job. I don't really know a good support job. I'm maybe Vampire for Edea, because that one fits kind of a lot of different roles out of nowhere. There isn't really another set job like Merchant and Savmaker that really are item-focused. Yeah, I gained a level. Technically, I'm higher level than I need to be right now, but that's totally fine with me. I haven't really been that. Another one, let me see. Because if I'm doing Savmaker and Merchant, I mean, I could do Thief, but I don't think that's really a good fit. Trying to think, I don't think this fits the way I think it does. Speed Strike, Nice Trick Thief. No, that doesn't. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? No. Why did I do that? I'm pressing the wrong button because I think I'm on PlayStation. Whatever. Go to abilities. Fine. I mean, she's got the same shit on, so it doesn't matter. Tiz, like, I want him to go back to Monk. So he's got Freelancer, Monk, and other stuff. But I may want to go, like, another... maybe Pirate? But I don't think Sword Magic works with Pirate. I don't really know that one. I mean, the problem is Monk doesn't really jive with anything in that sense, because Sword Magic is something. Maybe Knight, because they focus on swords, but they focus on defense. With Spellfencer, I'm trying to focus on offense, so I don't know. Because Ranger's not going to work, Valkyrie's not going to work. Maybe Ninja, but they focus on daggers too, so I don't know which job. Like, the jobs that would work for Spellfencer would be maybe Dark Knight, because that also focuses on swords, maybe? Because Freelancer I'm getting for a different reason. I'm thinking Performer or Red Mage for Agnes, because Performer buffs party members. It could be another benefit. And at some point, like Red Mage and Time Mage for Ring a Bell. Maybe do Red Mage for Edea just to get BP, because she's that ultimate support. And I should have been healing. I should have been healing. I'm dumb. Yeah, let's just know. This is why I saved so much. Because these guys are assholes. They have paralysis and they hit hard, so they're annoying. Couldn't get it. God damn it, Gabe! Really? Ah, you suck. Oh, goody. Oh, goody. Game. Great. Fuck off, dude! This is so stupid. You know, I can run, god damn it. Stupid! Can I not run from these things? Is that what this is? Is that the problem? Is I can't run from these guys? And I can't win. Fuck off. Whatever. Alright, whatever. You see why I'm saving a lot. I don't have tons of paralysis avoiding things. I got, like, the one thing. Okay, I can't run from those guys. Go me. Fucking hell. Great. I don't like that it takes forever to load the opening screen, and then it's like, oh, we don't take time at all to load anything ever again. Like, make up your mind? Alright, did I... Alright, fine, whatever. Fuck you. Oh, it only gets worse, you say? Well, I could have told you that, and now... Fuck. I could have told you that, game. Fine, whatever. I'm not using Star Pendant for a while. I need these fucking paralysis things. I got one, right? I got two. Okay. Well, who needs them the most? You two. Alright, closed pin nullifies sleep, so I have to remember that. That's really dumb. Good job, game. Now I gotta reload all this shit. Because I can't just enjoy my video normally. I have to fucking deal with this bullcrap. I should have noticed yesterday while I was grinding that this is gonna be a bitch. Because those guys do that, and it's stupid. Now I can't run from anything. Gee, I should use the flee command that I'm gonna get soon. How about no? I don't like fleeing, unless I'm forced to. But whatever. Fucking game. But yes, leveling up like crazy, still beat up by wolves. Because paralysis. It feels like Final Fantasy 1 all over again, doesn't it? I'm not as annoyed as I should be. Because it doesn't matter. It's 10 minutes. But yeah, so the things I want to use are things like Red Mage, Time Mage. There's gonna be no point to having every single job on every single character. I do think my strategy is gonna be fine. 35. Oh my god, I need that many? Ugh. 3,500. Son of a bitch. Okay, so that's a jump. Alright, that might be a... I have to level that up later. Yeesh. How long is this episode going? That might be a... I fight a couple bosses and I level that up and then I go back to Spellfencer, because fuck, dude. I got these, might as well sell them. I got money, so there's that. How long has this episode been? I mean, I talked through what I wanted to talk about. And... not that. Maybe one more fight. One more fight against the wolves that'll kill me! Sure. Yeah, go me. But, to be fair, I think this game... the bosses are the tougher bit, and they're going to get worse. Oh boy, speaking of worse, let's test this shit out now. Can't paralyze me, at least not the important ones. So we'll do one more fight. But the important thing is I have something to work off. A framework that has been somewhat successful But the game is far, far from over. And I don't really recall a lot of the boss fights after this, because anybody who knows about Bravely Default knows how wonky the game is midway through. And it's for good and for bad. I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say it's weird, and I don't know if people like it. But I also don't remember actually playing that part. I got to it, and I think I lost interest, or I was playing something else, and I lost interest in that way. I probably rage quit, would be my guess. I got to some of those fights, and as you've seen, I'm not the most adept at, like, strategery and stuff. I like a lot more direct damage when I can help it. Something like this with the poison is not my strong suit. I'm normally not this petty, but you'll notice that I'm having trouble with bosses, and I'm taking the slow but steady approach. That's probably what I'm gonna have to do with this. I'm engaging with this, with the setups better than I did in the first playthrough, but it's still a bit rough. It's still a bit rough around the edges. Because I don't think until recently I was able to do a lot of chunk damage, and this is a game that relies heavily on prepping yourself and then doing chunk damage and then repeating yourself. We saw that with a lot of fights in this run of like 5 bosses in like 3 episodes kind of thing. So yeah, I don't need the star pendants right now. I'm gonna. I don't think Templar does poison, as far as I can tell. So what do I want to use instead? Probably Hermes sandals. Keep my agility up. I like having Sadmaker go first. Silence, maybe? Did they do that? Or do I just do raises HP? Raises intelligence, raises mind, so that's magic defense. Greatly raises magic defense? Well, I mean, I guess. It's not something I think the Templar would do, but it's a very physical, heavy setup. Courage ring, don't dread death. I'll look up what stuff. I'll look up what stuff the Templar does. Just for sure, and I'll know. Because I'm probably gonna fight some more, but I think I'm good for now. I do definitely want to do more, but I'm also a bit sunk. But I got Withering Ripple. If he gets hit by it, he gets hit by it. If he doesn't, I'll find some other way. I mean, I've been finding ways to win, but I wanted to kind of go over where I'm at currently in the game. Because I'm nowhere near the end of it, but we're still like 40 hours in. This is a long game. I don't think the story bits are as long. It's a lot of fighting. That's gonna be the problem. But this game forces you to engage with its systems and try to understand them and work around it. I've done okay. I've got through here, but the meat of the game is still gonna happen. So if I don't understand my main stuff by the time I fight the next set of bosses, and then what's coming after is gonna murder the shit out of me. So I'll take what I can learn from what I'm doing here. Now, I'm a little over leveled, but that's fine. There's still a couple of jobs I need to get before I'm fully mastered out of asterisks, or fully complemented. But I know what my main party is going to be. Savmaker, Spell Fencer into probably Dark Knight, and then Monk here near Performer / Red Mage / White Mage / Spirit Master. Red Mage is handy. It just is. And then Black Mage into Arcanist into maybe Time Mage for a stint. But I'm nowhere close to finishing, but I needed this episode to decompress a bit and slow things down. So, we'll probably fight the Templar bravely next time.